Good morning, everyone. Can you see me? I'm under the best spotlight going. I hope you know that we ordered up this weather for you. Not necessarily the wind, but we'll do the best that we can. Thank you for coming out, and as you grab your seats and prepare to make history, let me tell you, I'm really very, very excited to be a part of what has been a national story coming out of Baltimore about what its communities can do. But to begin our groundbreaking ceremony today for the Village Center at Stadium Place, let's get a blessing, because today is the feast of St. Francis of Assisi, and we have to get our priest, Monsignor Burke, back to church in time for Mass at 11. So I will leave it to him.
Thank you. Again, good morning, everyone. Welcome to Stadium Place as we gather to ask God's blessing on this groundbreaking for the Village Center. Let's see if I can get this. First, give thanks to the Govans Ecumenical Development Corporation, its founding members, especially our departed friend, the Reverend Jack Sharp, whose visionary leadership brought Stadium Place into its thriving current position as a national model. We now ask your blessing as we begin still another chapter in our shared call to serve folks of all ages, colors, and ethnicities. Through your goodness, may the Village Center stand as a welcoming beacon for everyone in our wider community. As it stands now, it will be the centerpiece with the Ripken Field and then the Y of Maryland, the apartments for our elderly citizens. All of these will surround this great village center as sharing and welcoming everyone to come to be enriched in their lives. So with your blessing, we pray too for all who do not yet have homes of their own, and for all who are badly housed, that they may find relieving access to better opportunities, and strengthened with your presence and blessing, may we all look forward to this important village center of Stadium Place. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Monsignor, for blessing this day for us, for blessing history this occasion. I'm your MC, Beverly Burke. And let me tell you something. It was a long time ago, but it wasn't in a galaxy far, far away. I came here to Baltimore in 1984. And actually, one of my last broadcasts of games at Memorial Stadium was just before the shovels hit the ground. And that was some game. Let me also share with you that on the first day of the opening downtown in 1992, you can still see that, by the way, on YouTube. I was there for the opening of that too. So I figured if I stuck around that long, I was good to go. Because you know about media and broadcasting. In fact, right now, we want you to live stream this occasion to the spots that you have live and going, and we're going to give you a couple of hashtags a little bit later. But as a matter of housekeeping and such, I would like to just remind you we have some refreshments in the bag, and that we also have people standing by who can help you and assist you with anything that you need. But, you know, again, this is going to be one of those Kodak moments for many of us, because the leaders that have come together this morning have done this very specifically for what we have seen has been a holy alliance. Along the York Road corridor, there were 8 pastors who came together because they were facing the same kinds of problems, trying to help their communities. People were looking for jobs, looking for a place to live, trying to survive tough times, especially if it involved addiction. They also wanted to just understand that if they could not pay the rent or the utility bill, that there was a place that they could go. And realizing that they each in their own parishes was experiencing this, that they could come together in a united front, be there to help more. And let me tell you, that's done more than 6,000 times a year. Now here's part of what you're going to learn today. And you really need to take some notes on this, or at least be aware of the power of what's going on in your community. Because the example of Stadium Place, when it was unveiled the first time, became a template that other communities across the country and around the world began to copy. Why? Well, excuse me, but I don't have black hair anymore. And with today's health advances, I may live a long time. I see I'm in good company. I'm checking you out. Okay? Well, that goes for our community too. And on fixed incomes, you know, the way things go, we need safe and affordable places to live and a way to take care of ourselves and stay healthy and be part of the family unit that does go on unit and generation to generation. Let me begin right now by introducing to you one of those very busy people, a director with GEDCO. And let me just get you to do this. Spell it out with me. G E D C O. GEDCO. Thank you very much. And with that, Andrea Jackson, please come on up. She is a member of our board, more than 5 years. You talk about a planner with experience and someone who has the entrepreneurial skills to bring others together. She's made it happen, and she knows why this day is so important. Andrea.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. I'm looking out over the audience, and everyone that I see pretty much I've worked with in some capacity. So guess what? We are family. Welcome, welcome, welcome to this groundbreaking ceremony for the Village Center. It has been quite a journey to get to these heavy equipment vehicles that are on site, but we are here. And I am so honored and humbled to serve as the president of Stadium Place, along with my distinguished board members, along with the GEDCO board and also the Real Estate Development Committee at GEDCO. But I'm most proud of our partnership with commercial development. One of the things that, I think about was I've known Kevin Johnson for a very long time. I remember when his company was a drywall company, and to see it evolve from drywall to construction into now a full-blown development. If you don't know what commercial development does, I would ask that you go to their website. I had one of the camera reporters ask me, well, who is that? I say, go to the website, and he was really impressed. So we are very happy to have commercial development here, but also to our own CEO, Nicole Battle. I am So proud of her. I've known Nicole for about 20 years. We've worked in various capacities together throughout Baltimore City. I've watched her evolve and grow, and I was there serving on the board when she became the executive director. And here's another little tidbit. Mayor Young, who was Council President Young, Nicole Battle, and Kevin Johnson, we all worked together in the East Baltimore Development Blueprint. They were erecting buildings, and the councilman was there to make sure that we were doing what we supposed to do. So thank you, Mayor Young, for holding us accountable. To our distinguished elected officials, Senator Washington, and to my own council person, Mary Pat Clark, thank you for your tenacity and your drive, and thank you for making sure that this project happened, along with the city council and the mayor's office and all of the agencies, DPW, transportation, housing and community development, all of the agencies in Baltimore City. And this could not happen without the distinguished board members of GetCo and Stadium Place. Can you stand, please, just so people can see you? So we are definitely looking forward to seeing this building come out the ground. I am extremely excited to be here, and I just want to welcome each and every one of you, and make sure you visit the food table. We have a new caterer back there, so make sure you visit her. I'm always push small businesses. But again, welcome to the groundbreaking ceremony for the Village Center, and please enjoy yourself. Thank you.
Thank you so much, and we're going to try and stay right on time. We've got a lot of busy people who have schedules, and speaking of which, and one of the busiest people going is the CEO of the commercial group. You're going to hear from him coming up next. I have to share a little bit about heavy equipment. We're going to have where you see this banner over here, that's where you can take your selfies, okay? Because you know you're here with a lot of famous people and a lot of influential contacts. So don't forget to take your selfie over there, okay? And the sun is in the right place, so you're gonna get great lighting. This works, okay? And by the way, maybe we can get the shovel to rev up again for a minute. Did you feel that thumping in the ground? Kevin and I were talking about that a second ago. It's just like an earthquake, but then again, I worked in California for a while, so I know that. And that's not the rolling kind, okay? So maybe we can get it going. This is the shifting kind. Let's now hear from someone who has a lot of experience. As you just heard Andrea say, he started in drywall and subcontracting, and the word got around. People liked the work. It showed for itself what this man meant in terms of business. And the entrepreneurship kept spreading as he collaborated with others. Please put your hands together for Kevin Johnson, CEO, the commercial group.
Thank you, Beverly, for that introduction. Wow, a lot more people showed up. Welcome, everybody. First of all, I do want to thank God for allowing me the inner guidance and wisdom and vision to be able to do what I do, and to be able to attract so many people around me to take care of me day in and day out and help me to facilitate our mission and our vision. The one thing that I am most proud of is our ability to execute and finish things. And with my partner, Nicole, I can tell you that this was by far one of the most difficult and most challenging experiences that I've been through. And Nicole and I spent many a night just with our mouths wide open in disbelief of the journey. It's been 3 years in the making, and I'll talk a little bit later about some of the critical partners that facilitated this. It's really a miracle. If not for, first of all, again, I want to thank GetCo for allowing us the opportunity to implement this vision that they've had for decades, to bring retail, healthy retail, and commercial space to this community. I think we all know that bringing retail and commercial into a community is the glue that binds and makes the community successful. So this anchor is just a critical piece that's always been in the vision of GEDCO and this community. And if not, and for me being so naive and thinking that I was going to get $26 million worth of new market tax credits at the beginning of this project, just to wake up in the middle of it and realize that was a fantasy and has never been done in the history of mankind. And to be able to persevere with, again, some folks I'm going to point out a little bit later on that stood by our side in an unbelievable way, Harbor Bank and Fulton Bank. It's just a miracle. So I am humbled. I'm thankful. I want to thank you all for showing up to share this momentous moment, and I look forward to the grand opening. Thanks.
You know, I'm going to tell you right now, you can be witness to the fact that there's a domino effect whenever there's development in a community. What happens? Take a look at the houses that border where we are right now. Just turn around, take a quick look, okay? Some of those folks were thinking maybe it's time to sell, maybe it's time to move on. Do you know what? They like what's happening right here, even though it's all bare ground right now. They know what's going to happen to their community. So you know what? They're going to visit their banks, and they're going to look into sprucing up, and they're going to get some of those good deals from Home Depot and others and do the yard, and that has a domino effect. It flows through the rest of the community, because you know what's around the corner? A business institution, a school institution, and there's a school of social work there, engineering, you know, all of this makes for a richer community. That didn't go unnoticed from our next speaker, who is the CEO of, a little louder? Thank you very much. Nicole Battle, more than 20 years in her work of being the kind of collaborator who could bring people together. And let me tell you today, and I'm just going to say this real quick, we're going to get many calls this week. People are still hungry, they are looking for jobs, and they know they have a community friend that is there. It shouldn't go anywhere.
Wow, there is a lot more people here. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Well, first, you know, God is good. I'm just so grateful for him to bring us all here, bring us here safely, bring us to this point in history where we are able to break ground on the Village Center. Kevin ain't never lied. We did have those moments where we were just like, what the? But we are here. Thank you. GEDCO is a firm believer in partnerships and collaboration. GEDCO builds caring and compassionate communities in partnership with faith-based and community organizations. Together, we provide housing and supportive services for older adults in the community, as well as those who are formerly homeless, and we also provide emergency services to those in the community as well. Stadium Place, as Andrea said, is the best example of how collaboration with community residents, federal, state, local governments, the public and private sector can lead to the highest and best use of a vacant stadium site. With our partners, we currently provide housing and supportive services for over 400 individuals at Stadium Place. And we have a waiting list of over 500 people who want to live here as well. The need for affordable housing for older adults is real. There are many people who don't believe it. They think we have enough, but if you follow the statistics, the number of older adults in about 20 years is going to nearly double. And we are, hey Frank, we are, you know, we're right at the front door seeing the number of people who are coming to us to, you know, submit applications and try to get housing to live at Stadium Place because it's a beautiful community. We have our seniors over there in the second row. Raise your hand, seniors, and in the sorry, Miss Fernetta. They can tell you, and we are so blessed to have them. But it's really this partnership, these partnerships with all the people that I mentioned before, and the Y, who has really helped in creating an intergenerational community. We have Shane Bryant, where are you? Who is the president of Edna Gardens Lakeside Community Association. Community partnerships are so key to development projects and development communities. If you don't have your community support or even have that partnership in place, you're not going to get very far. And we got to all remember, as developers and responsible developers, we don't always live in the communities that we're investing and developing in. Therefore, we need to be respectful of the people who do live here. One of the great things about Stadium Place, which was Jack's vision, is he wanted to create a community of older adults where we respect the individual, and we made sure that they were treated with respect and dignity for the rest of their lives. No matter what their background, their ethnicity, that's what Stadium Place is supposed to be, currently is, and will always be. I also, before, because I don't want to take up too much time because we are on a tight schedule. We have a couple of development sites that are still remaining. I'll have Kathy come up, Kathy Hamill with Gilchrist. She'll talk a little bit about Gilchrist services and the hospice community that's going to be start construction the end of this month. But we also have Elkader Way, which will be our affordable housing, deeply affordable housing community. If we can get some tax credits, I hope the state is here, so that we can finish up Stadium Place and really address that affordable need in Baltimore. Before I leave, I want to reiterate how grateful we are to celebrate the groundbreaking of the Village Center. This has been a long time coming. GETCO, I want to especially thank GETCO and Stadium Place boards and staff, our residents at Stadium Place who are represented here today, our partner Kevin Johnson and the commercial group. We really appreciate you and thank you for taking a chance on us and not running away when we found out we couldn't get $26 million in new market tax credits. Is Danny here? So Danny, come up here. All right, so you all hear him. Today is Danny's last day. And Danny was amazing getting through the closing process, representing the partnership. So we are so grateful, and can we all just give him a round of applause? I always believe attorneys and accountants keep you out of trouble. We had 3 great attorneys who were working with the partners on this deal. Amy McLean, who provided pro bono services to GETCO. Mark Keener and Dave Raderman, who didn't provide pro bono services, but they've been extremely supportive. I'm not saying that about Gallagher. Avelius Jones has been a friend, a longtime friend of GETCO through all of our endeavors, and we are super excited and we love them, and we were very grateful that they participated on this project. And I also want to thank all of you as you continue to support the efforts of GETCO and Stadium Place, and for all of you that believe that older adults need safe, decent, and affordable housing so that they can age with dignity and respect. So I would like to invite the CEO of Gilchrist Services, and hopefully the windstorm will slow down, Kathy Hamill, to the stage so that she can tell you a little bit about the former Joseph Ritchie community that is moving to Stadium Place.
Well, good morning. I am thrilled to be here today to be part of this excitement for the groundbreaking of the Village Center. As Nicole mentioned, my name is Kathy Hamill, and I serve as the president of Gilchrist. For those of you who might not be familiar with what we do, we are best known for our now 25-year history of providing community-based hospice care. What you may not know is that we also provide specialized primary geriatric care for people who suffer from serious illnesses, well in advance of the need for hospice. These services are provided in people's homes, in area nursing homes. And as a matter of fact, we now, and have long been, the medical team in the greenhouse here at the Stadium Place. On behalf, thank you. On behalf of the Gilchrist Board of Directors, the staff, and volunteers, I'd first like to congratulate GEDCO and Baltimore City for the development of Stadium Place and your vision to improve the community for senior residents. Gilchrist is honored to be a partner of GEDCO and believe, as they do, that Baltimore's older adults, regardless of their incomes, should have access to high-quality housing along with other supportive services. We're confident that what will exist here at Stadium Place, this ever-evolving neighborhood that combines reasonable housing, now retail services, a skilled nursing facility, and soon to be a hospice, that Stadium Place will continue to lead the country for innovative projects for seniors, and we are privileged to be part of it. In 2014, Gilchrist joined forces with the Joseph Ritchie House, currently located on Utah Street, becoming the Gilchrist Center, Baltimore. We will locate that 22-bed facility here to Stadium Place, hopefully, and we will be celebrating our groundbreaking, we hope, in the next 30 to 45 days, and we hope to see many of you back here to celebrate that opening. We have continued Joseph Ritchie's original mission of serving city residents who would otherwise not have a safe, comfortable, and compassionate place in which to die, independent of their ability to pay for services. We subsidize this work at over $1 million a year. The center will also be home to the only 4 pediatric inpatient hospice beds in the state of Maryland. We join you in offering the Village Center our sincerest congratulations for this momentous groundbreaking. We would like to congratulate Kevin Johnson and the commercial development team for their magnificent work on this project, and offer our congratulations again to Nicole Battle and her colleagues at GEDCO. We are grateful. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Hamill. And before the winds actually take away all of our dirt that we're supposed to spade up there in a minute, we're going to try and move this along quicker. But let me tell you, for a guy who's got to jump into hot spots and pull it together in terms of this city, this man has been busy from day one, whether he was a district man in the council seat or now as mayor. Please put your hands together for the Bernard C. Jack Young, Mayor of Baltimore.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. I'm going to be Elijah Cummings. You can do better than that. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. First of all, I'd like to acknowledge all the elected leaders. I know they have been acknowledged before, but I want to acknowledge them again. Senator Mary Washington, Council President Brandon Scott, Councilwoman Mary Pat Clark, also Kevin Johnson, CEO of the Commercial Group, Nicole Battle, the CEO of GEDCO, Andrea Jackson, the board chair, Joe Haskin, president of Harvard Bank. How you doing, Joe? And Kathy Hamill. I'm so excited about the future of this site. This development will show the great work that can be achieved when elected officials and business owners can come together for the benefit of the community. There is a large demand, as Nicole so eloquently stated, for senior housing in Baltimore City. I don't say that it might double, it might triple, because we're living longer, okay? Development projects like the one we are celebrating today are helping with this problem. Neighborhood development is the key to increasing Baltimore's population, decreasing vacant homes, and improving our local economy. With investment like this, the area will only get better and better. Providing access to affordable housing and increasing the quality of life in the neighborhood is essential. Anything that helps to uplift neighborhoods in Baltimore, I'm a big fan of, and that is why I'm here today. So is the sand. I can attest to GEDCO's strong capabilities, including the successful development and operation of Stadium Place. Through GEDCO, Stadium Place provides a range of innovative and supportive programs and services for more than 400 low and moderate income residents. I would also like to thank Commercial Group and CEO Kevin Johnson. I know you will continue to be a leader in building healthy, affordable housing in Baltimore City and a recognized innovator in the country. I strongly support the continual development of Stadium Place and the expansion of supportive services for its residents. I would be remiss if I did not acknowledge Reverend Jack Sharp. This was his vision. I remember the meetings we had about tearing down Memorial Stadium, and he was a fearless leader for making sure that this project is coming into reality. So this is his vision and his dream, and I know he's looking down over the balconies of heaven saying, Nicole, thank you for leading this effort, and thank you for what you do for the citizens, especially the seniors in Baltimore City. I also want to thank the neighborhood organizations, because without their support, I doubt if we'd be this far. So to the community, thank you, and we have much more work to do. We have to make sure we go in those distressed communities that haven't seen development in decades. So work is coming, Kevin. Make sure that you keep your pipe dry so that you can get some of these projects. So again, thank you all for giving me this opportunity.
Moving right along, I just wanted to also remind you again about the selfie opportunity, especially for those of you who have just arrived, that the banner to the side here, isn't that impressive? That's a great looking banner. It's also behind me. You can take my picture too. Anyway, the point is that you know that we've got an impressive project here, and nobody knows that better than Senator Mary Washington. As she makes her way up here, let me just tell you, for someone who has spent decade after decade working for the district as a legislator and bringing together the collaborations that have made a difference, you know, that's why all of you are grinning from ear to ear. Senator.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Hey, don't be upset by the wind. That's the wind of change, right? That's the wind of change. Even Mother Nature knows something powerful and miraculous is happening right here this morning. Good morning. I am Senator Mary Washington, and I have the privilege of representing the 43rd Legislative District in the Maryland Senate. Thank you, Nicole Battle and the leadership of GetCo and Stadium Place for inviting me here today to lift up this project as evidence of the dedication, the resilience, and creativity of the people of Baltimore. So let's give ourselves a hand for that. And thank you to the press and all of our stakeholders for taking the time to help us celebrate this momentous occasion. Please allow me to take a moment to thank all of you who've worked so hard over the last 2 decades to bring us here. First to GetCo again and the leadership, the past and present communities of Better Waverly, of Waverly Improvement Association, Edna Gardens Lakeside, Coldstream Homestead Montebello, Able, Oakenshaw, NECO, and the Y of Central Maryland. Also, our partnership with Councilwoman Mary Pat Clark, because of her relentless advocacy for the part of the people of Baltimore and the people we represent. And also to all the colleagues who are members, former members, and current members of City Council. And especially for moving this project closer to the goal, our Mayor, Jack Young, our Council President, Brandon Scott, the Maryland General Assembly, DHCD, the Department of General Services. I'm excited to meet commercial development and looking at all you have to do, the comprehensive approach to restoring our communities. There couldn't be a better partner to exemplify what responsible community development will look like. And thank you for that. And of course, we don't have anything without the money. Thank you to Harbor Bank and to Fulton Bank. This groundbreaking marks the commencement of the construction of the Village Center at Stadium Place. And I'm truly excited because I have a personal history here. See, when the walls of Memorial Stadium came down, I was president of one of the community associations. And we wondered and we feared what would happen to this vacant land. And we fought hard together to make it what it is today. But that's what we do in this part of the world. Right? That's what we do here. Like many of you, I've spent the bulk of my career trying to help make the world be a better place. being a part of the systems and institutions that help to repair and build better people, better neighborhoods, and better communities, all the communities in which we live, work, and play. And as such, I very much believe that economic development is essential to community development and to public safety. And we have an amazing opportunity here for economic progress on this corner of Ednar and 33rd. Again, as you know, I was elected. I was your state delegate for 8 years, ran to be the senator because, like you, we're striving to make sure that we have a better place to live. Now, as Nicole said, working with partnerships is really important. And we are so pleased and appreciative that GETCO shows the same value of collaboration, first in their development goals to provide affordable housing and supportive services. And like many here in Stadium Place, they had consistent engagement with the community. Of course, that engagement at times needed some prodding, some emails, some meetings, but they've always been responsive. And again, that is the model that we should have. So again, Village Center is not just a place that's going to provide service opportunities, it's going to provide workforce and new business opportunities. I want to take a moment right now to implore and encourage any local grassroots organization who wants to start a business, open a business, looking for a storefront, to partner with GETCO, partner with commercial construction. We don't have to have this be the same type of cookie cutter corporate investment that is extracting from our community. What we need to use this as an opportunity to build up those people who've been running businesses out of their home, who've been opening up, who've been on Greenmount Avenue and want an opportunity to move, to expand in their business. That's what we're looking here for. So in closing, I'd like to say that my colleagues in the General Assembly and I are always striving to make real, meaningful difference in our communities. I feel a deep sense of personal pride and fulfillment derived from contributing to this community and from partnering with all of you. We will continue to fight for a better Baltimore, for the best 43rd District, and I know that every single commitment is there. And thank you, of course, to Gilchrist Joseph Community, who are the newest members of our family. We welcome you, and I congratulate again GETCO for now the new Miracle on 33rd Street. Thank you.
Yeah, she did a good job, didn't she? I think she picked up some examples, don't you think so, huh? Okay, we're talking about people who have been in service for a long time, year after year, decade after decade. You know, there are people who are living in other districts who know Mary Pat Clark, okay? And they speak of her and her dedication and her love of this city. Doesn't matter where she goes. I gotta get a selfie, okay? We gotta get together. But my point is, as you make your way up here, these are the days that we remember when 1975 you became elected city council president. Oh my goodness. And she's been making news and history ever since. Put your hands together. You can put a roar over this win for Mary Pat Clark. We're honored to have you on this important day.
Love you too. Good morning.
Good morning.
Let me talk about where we came from. And let me acknowledge all what Mimi DePietro would say, persons of distinguity here today. And how we've all worked together. And Mary, you've covered the landscape. You got it. So I'll leave that alone and say, wow, we're family, aren't we happy today? So let me just say, I'm part of the same community that worried when Memorial Stadium was leaving. It belonged to us. It was the center of us. It drew us in. It was $7 for a ticket, and sometimes if you came late, you could walk in free. Whole family could go. We loved it. And there used to be a flag out here on 36th Street every time there was a home game. And it said, HERE, H-E-R-E. And that went back to Frank Robinson, who came here as one of only 3 African American players on the Orioles and played his first game and hit a home run that was the only home run ever went outside the walls of a Memorial Stadium. And this local community put a flag together that said "Here," and it flew every time the Orioles had a home game for all those years. Here is here again. And that's what I was thinking so much about when I was thinking about this day, and how hard a trip it's been, Nicole, to arrive here from sewerage to support. But this whole place is a here all over again. And it's a here that's been mentioned and lauded already today. I'm not going to overdo it. But there is no affordable housing for persons who have lived and worked and raised families, but have a low or moderate normal income, and they want to move someplace where they'll be safe, in good company, healthy, and have a good life. Here it is, ladies and gentlemen. 400 plus beautiful apartments, and they are beautiful, well maintained, and run in each building by a president and board of residents. And they know how to ask for things, right? Don't forget the handicap parking. Don't forget about, no, we don't want speeding here. We need a bus stop on site. Yes, they're active, just like a neighborhood association should be. Every one of those buildings. I don't know what I just dropped, but I hope it wasn't too important. Oh, I'm sorry. What was it? And in any event, ladies and gentlemen, this cornerstone has proved to be very difficult to put together because it is always been promised. It will have, I've gathered, 70 apartments, affordable apartments, and that list, 500, at least some people will be able to climb into their new digs. And they'll be living over some services that are intending for the entire neighborhood as well as the people who live here. It's a feisty crowd. Frank Robinson would be proud. We should put that flag back up, because here is more than here again, and lives on in the people who live here, run it, and have a good life that they deserve. Thank you.
I tell you, it's a day for the books and for passing on to our next generation. You know, we have a generation that has been a working generation in this city, and he is now the new city council president, and he knows, because he has understood the generations that have told the stories and passed down those collaborations that have made a difference, and he understands the conversations that are going on right now, and he's a good interpreter of those conversations that need to go between communities. And to keep the conversation going, let's just keep him up here, get him up here, so that he can tell us more about the plans ahead. As president of the Baltimore City Council and a former candidate for Lieutenant Governor of Maryland, as well as a former representative for Baltimore's 2nd District, Brandon Scott. And let me just give a warning that in T-minus we're going to do a shovel dig.
Good morning, everyone. We're going to try that one more time. Good morning, everyone. Today really is about legacy. I came here today to say congratulations and to celebrate, but more importantly to say thank you. because this is about, for me, this is personal. Mary Pat knows this. My great-grandmother owned a house right here on Melville Avenue in this neighborhood. So as a little kid, I would run and I went to the last baseball game at Memorial Stadium, first one at Camden Yards. We actually had season tickets to the CFL team here at Memorial Stadium. And now, for this, what this is about, and I would like for everyone to notice, especially those in the media, that this is development uptown. We're about as far away from downtown as you can get in Baltimore City. Because we often hear about how nothing can happen in Baltimore. Development cannot happen beyond the realms of downtown, beyond the breeze of the water. And you can see today that it definitely can happen. But it can only happen when you have communities and everyone and all the partners that you see here today coming together to realize that people should be able to grow up, live, earn, and live the rest of their lives in peace in the neighborhood that they were living in. For me, this is very personal. My grandfather lives here in Northeast Baltimore. There is no doubt in my mind that every day, if he did not get that job at General Motors, I would not exist. That job created the pathway for my mom, my aunt, my dad, who later moved here, next thanks to my uncles who were working at Bethlehem Steel. And now my grandfather, we actually had this conversation a few months ago, is at the point in life where he says, Brandon, I need you to help me find an apartment. We need an apartment. And I said, well, Pop, there's some new ones going up at 33rd. You can go in there in a few months, hopefully. He said, I would love to go there, because he is the person that got me into baseball. And thinking about everything that my grandfather has done for me, that my grandmother has done for me, the opportunities they provided, it is now my duty to provide the same thing for them, to make sure that they're living their life in a peaceful, in a safe manner, in a neighborhood where not only that they can be safe, but also that they're familiar with, that they can continue to shop at the Giant, that they can continue to go to the Y, they continue to go up to Belvedere Square and enjoy the concerts on Friday nights. That's what we have to provide to the generations before us, because my generation has to be thankful. We have to be thankful for the opportunities, the hard work, all the things that they went through that I didn't have to go through because they went through it. And that's what this is about for me today. So I'm here today to say thank you. Thank you for realizing that this is what we have to do. We have to continue to do this across the city of Baltimore. We have to invest in neighborhoods, invest in people who have been forgotten in our city for generations. And that is how Baltimore will once again become the greatest city in America. So thank you so much. And I will get out of the way so we can throw some dirt.
Okay, it is almost dirt time, but before that, we want to have the CEO of the commercial group join us again with a special presentation. I'll let him explain it to you. Kevin Johnson has now allowed for a number of what I would say are collaborative efforts. You know, some of these things aren't realized unless you're on the road in the development of. And as people come together to do this, they understand what great power can come from that alliance. Kevin.
Thank you all again so much. As we move to close out, I want to have a couple of acknowledgments and wrap up some thank yous. I want to acknowledge my wife and my daughter here, Judy and Hillary. It's not all the time that I get, it's all the time that I get my wife's support, and it's not all the time that Hillary is able to come. So it's an extra special moment that both of them are here together, and I am very appreciative. Is Cohen Resnick here? I want to acknowledge Cohen Resnick for their work, just tireless, great professionals that are here. I also want to acknowledge NIF and Baltimore Community Lender that stood in the gap when we needed, gap financing and to get over the hump. Those agencies stepped up, and we're again very appreciative. I started off by talking about how difficult this journey was, and Nicole and I were down the path and thought we had a debt provider that was going to provide the debt for the project, and we were a year in the making, and we thought we were going to close in 30 days. And we got a phone call from that provider that said they were, well, they said they were out. And it was a very trying time. And as God would have it, somehow I got connected with Nicole Earl and Fulton Bank, and they stood in the gap in a way, in a type of energy that I really can't, it's hard to express, of, because lenders, come and talk all the time, and you might get to the finish line if your balance sheet is 3x what they need, and X, Y, Z. But Nicole came with a fresh energy of assurance and confidence, and the ability and expertise to be able to look at the transaction, look at our financial situation, and gave us the calmness to really believe that we were once again going to get to the finish line. And secondly, Joe Haskins with Harbor Bank. Joe has been a pillar in this community for decades, and these new market tax credits, SunTrust, the SunTrust is here. SunTrust here. SunTrust, from the very beginning was in our corner, stepped up with a $5 million commitment of new market tax credits. I can tell you with Steve Ross, I think Steve's unable to be here today, but Steve Ross was a person that, once again, in the process, if it were not for a person like Steve Ross, I would not have had the vision to be able to continue to move forward. So I really want to send my sincere appreciation to SunTrust Community Bank and their and what they did. Joe with Harbor put in $11 million of new market tax credits into this project. These new market tax credits are coveted all over the country, and they are, Joe can dish these new market tax credits out 4, 5, 6, 7, 10 times over. And being a board member of Harbor Bank, well, I was humbled as to how Joe stood the test of time for probably ended up to be about 18 months with a commitment to this community and to this project, when he could have easily walked away if he was only interested in self-interest and monetary gain. So with Joe and Nicole, could you both come up really quick? I want each one of you to just take a minute to talk to the community about yourselves and what you've done for the project.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Nicole Earl with the Community Development Lending Group of the Fulton Bank, formerly the Columbia Bank. And Kevin and Nicole, this is a momentous day, and it's a divine day. We actually met with Nicole about a year and a half ago, and we heard about this project, and we thought at that time that we would not have had the opportunity. But we believe that God is in control. I believe that God is in control. And so this was a divine opportunity that came up to us earlier this year. And Fulton Bank, we believe that we are in business to change lives for the better. That is what we do. And so we believe that this project is a template of what changing lives for the better is. I want to introduce our partners with whom we couldn't have done this without. I want to introduce Jim Wagner. Please stand, Jim. Jim is the director of the Community Development Lending Group. Tracy Fletcher. Tracy Fletcher is our team leader, and our very outspoken and dynamic community outreach officer, Ms. Dionne Waldron McNeil. This is our Baltimore team and our commitment to Baltimore and to the community. Thank you, gentlemen and lady, you can sit. As you might know, the Fulton Bank has made a commitment to Baltimore City. We opened our first branch in the EBDI community about a week ago, and we believe that we're here to stay. We believe that we're here to invest and to help to make the community better, change lives for the better. And this project, we couldn't have done it without our partners at the city, at BCL, at NIF, with SunTrust and Harbor, and we want to do more. Our commitment is to the community, to Maryland, to improve lives for the better. We have a Fulton Forward initiative, which involves home ownership counseling, financial literacy. We're here for you. Please call us, call Dion. We want to do more projects like this to invest in the neighborhoods and to invest in communities. So it's really our pleasure to be able to celebrate with all of you, with the residents. And I didn't realize before Monday how deep our relationship with GEDCO went. Actually, on Monday, I was with the former founder of the Columbia Bank, and he told me that he's been volunteering with GEDCO for a very long time. And I had no knowledge of that, but it shows that the connection was there and was there for a very long time. And we intend to continue to do more to help the community with GEDCO, with commercial. We hope that this is a partnership for the long term. God bless you, and congratulations.
Good. Good morning, and thank you for this opportunity to be here. Kevin was very kind with his remarks about us, and as he sat around the board table with this project in its development form, I asked him where was my money. I said, Kevin, I got some folks I gotta pay the salary, and he told me it's coming. I said, coming? But let me tell you, I am a Baltimorean and one of the founders of Harbor Bank, and we're 37 years old. We were founded with the intent of bringing financial resources to the Baltimore community. It was our belief that we, through economic development, could change outcomes. And so when we look back at Harbor and its role, almost every developmental area in this city that you'll see, if you scratch the surface, you'll find that we were there first. We were the catalysts, we were the pioneers. So if you look at Inner Harbor East, the first money that was put in Inner Harbor East, before there was a Marriott, was Harbor's money. So we've been visionary. The Silo Point, we helped that project through an acquisition from Archer Daniels Midland. When you look at EBDI, which has been referred to often, and I see Jack Young, Jack will tell you that we sat in community meetings when all EBDI was an idea. I had the call to be one of the organizers of an initiative to develop an EBDI. And Jack held me accountable to the community to say that we just don't want to build housing, we want to build business enterprise. And I'm delighted to have you know that Commercial Interiors, it was referred to earlier that he was a drywaller. Well, we made a commitment to say we're going to help move the equation or change the equation. And in the first science building done at EBDI, 855 Wolf Street, Kevin Johnson and Commercial Interiors became a legitimate developer and a legitimate, successful developer, legitimate. And so we have a pride not only in bringing financial resources to the table, but also in helping local businesses grow to bring not only economic value, but job opportunities and job opportunities on a living wage basis. So to GEDCO, to the political leadership, to the financial supporters, to Kevin, I say to you, thank you. I want you to know that we are still in the new market tax credit business. We're working on 3 different projects as we speak. We're looking at Lexington Market. We're looking at a project for a private school with the Catholic Church, and we're looking at a project with Northwood. So Harbor's role is historical. It will be continuous. Our commitment is here. I have two of my colleagues here, so if you miss me, you see John Lewis, who heads not only our lending operation and is head of the CDC, our community development entity, but he also is a representative on many of our national initiatives, which involves opportunity zones. And standing beside him is Tony Thomas, who heads our private equity side. So our commitment to this community is bringing capital where capital has not been present. Access to capital is a difference, and I commend my colleagues in the banking community who stepped up to be a part of this initiative. And by the way, I told you I was a Baltimorean, and Brandon, you'll appreciate this. When Memorial Stadium was here, I was a vendor. See.
Let us thank all of our speakers